All right, DPS third graders. So these past couple of lessons, we've been talking about adaptations. So it's about time to show what you know. But before you can show what you know, we need to go through an adaptations review. Adaptations. There are several different ways that an animal can use adaptations to survive in their environment. So why don't we review those? Animal adaptations. What do animals do to survive in their habitats? So we have structural and behavioral. So structural, the way an animal is built. So it's related to their bodies. So we have thorns, quills, feet, claws, tails. And behavioral is the way an animal acts. So hibernating, web spinning, migrating. And so we have structural and behavioral, and here is an example with a camel. So long eyelashes to protect from sand, humps to store fat, and for their behavioral, they drink lots of water to survive in the dry climate. Structures and functions. So here we have different structures. We have hooves, webbed feet, feathers, and tails. So the function of a hoof is to help animals walk and keep their balance. The function of webbed feet are to help aquatic animals swim and move in water. For feathers, their function is to help keep birds warm and help them fly. The function of a tail is to help keep balance and act as a fifth arm. Next, we have plant adaptations. So plants adapt to their habitat in order to, so we have sunlight. So in order to get sunlight, we have a tall tree trunk, large leaves, and it bends towards the sunlight. It can adapt to reproduce or reproduction. So we have a dandelion and then the small pollen or thin leaves. So we have a nice smell or taste. These are low to the ground and they have their hooks, colorful seeds. They could adapt for protection. So we have thorns and spines or their smell or odor. And then we have adapt for water, so thick and waxy coating and spines, or they could have thin leaves and they can have above ground roots. So maybe they're adapting to get more water. And then finally, we have adaptation to get more nutrients or CO2. Here we have soil. We have a carnivore plant, which is the Venus flytrap. And we know that that is a carnivore and it has adapted to close its leaves when it senses that there is an insect or its food so that it can get some nutrients. Here we also have a carnivorous plant. It is the pitcher plant. So the way the pitcher plant works is that the insects fly in, but once they fly in, they tend to get stuck and they're not able to fly out, and therefore the pitcher plant absorbs all of the nutrients of those insects. So these are just some common plant adaptations. So we're going to review camouflage. This lizard, toad, and walking stick are trying to blend in with their environment or camouflage themselves. They use body shape or color to camouflage and hide from their predators. So when they camouflage, remember they are blending in with their surroundings. Next, we're going to review mimicry. So the snake on the bottom is the venomous coral snake, and the snake on the top is a king snake. The king snake survives by looking like or mimicking the venomous coral snake so that predators can leave it alone. And remember, mimicry is when one living thing resembles a different kind of living thing. Mimicry helps animals and plants in various ways. It can help them from being eaten, or it can help them get food. So here we have another example of mimicry. This moth has huge eye spots like a larger animal to make predators think that it is much larger than its real size. Predators like birds look at the eyes and think that the moth is too large to eat, so they end up passing it by. And this is an example of the moth protecting itself. So it's using protection in mimicry. So next we're going to be going over migration. Many mammals, birds, insects, and other animals move from one place to another at certain times of the year. This movement is called migration. Migration is a part of the life cycle of these animals, and animals migrate for different reasons. Some animals use migration to survive. This monarch butterfly flies south to Mexico, where the winters are much warmer. So here is a monarch butterfly, and we've read about monarch butterflies. And then over here we have the Canada goose. So the Canada goose spends the summer in Canada, but also flies south for warmer weather in the winter. They are a common sight flying overhead in Georgia in the spring and late summer. So the last adaptation that we're going to review is hibernation. Remember that hibernation is a deep sleep that helps animals survive in the wintertime and save energy without eating much food. You probably know that bears hibernate, but did you know that turtles and frogs can dig into the mud in North Georgia and have a type of hibernation too? Remember that there are several different ways that an animal or plant can use adaptation to survive in their environment. So here I included a picture of a pitcher plant that we talked about earlier. So remember, the insects go in and it's very hard for them to fly out, and therefore the pitcher plant gets the nutrients. Here we have a leaf insect, and as you can see, they are using their body. This can kind of be a mixture of camouflage where they're blending in, or mimicry where the insect is mimicking the look of a leaf. And then here we have an example of camouflage with this lizard. So remember, adaptations can be for any living thing, and they are used as a means of survival in their environment.